What is going on with this defense? What is up, Finn fans? Two videos for you guys today. I did the film breakdown earlier today. If you haven't checked it out, be sure to go check it out. I pinpointed some things that the Dolphins need to work on, all that good stuff. But in this video, we're going to talk about the defense, and we're going to talk about what's going on with this defense. We're going to jump right into it, and I want to talk about some stats that the defense has right now in their rankings in certain areas. When it comes to blitzing, they're 14th in the NFL. They've blitzed 21.4% of the time. The hurry percentage, which means the amount of snaps they made the opposing quarterback hurry, the percentage of that is 4.6, which is 25th ranked in the NFL. Quarterback knockdowns per attempt, per pass attempt, is 4%, which is 29th. Sacks, they are 24th in the NFL with 9. Fun fact, the Bengals, the Raiders, there's some other teams that are below the Dolphins that I thought would have a pretty good pass rush. Pressure percentage, the Dolphins are 30th with 12.8%. Missed tackles, they have the 5th most missed tackles in the NFL with 25. Points given up, they are ranked 29th. Yards given up, they are ranked 25th. Passing defense, they are ranked 28th. Their rush defense, though, is 13th ranked. Still good rush defense. And their turnovers, they are ranked 27th in the NFL. So if you take all this crap, you compile it, and you kind of want to say, all right, where are the Dolphins ranked wise? I'd say they are probably the 7th ranked defense in the NFL. Going from last year where they were ranked around like the 15th ranked defense, that's a huge drop. And a lot of us want to know what the flip's going on. When you look at the games, right, against the Patriots, the Dolphins defense did what they needed to. They kind of held the Patriots. They ran on us a bunch in the first half, and the Dolphins switched things up, forced them to pass more, kind of took that game over. You look at the Ravens game, the Ravens did whatever they wanted to do to the Dolphin defense. It wasn't until the offense started kind of clicking and started really dominating the Ravens defense that all of a sudden the Dolphins defense made the stops that they needed to at the times that they needed to. The Bills game is a good game to show this bend not break defense, because that's what they did. The Bills moved the ball up and down the field, but they had a hard time getting in the end zone. And yes, Bill fans, your defense was decimated and your offensive line had a few injuries, but you still had Josh Allen, and this Dolphin defense did very good job of stopping him. Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, all those guys, Dawson Knox. But again, they allowed the yardage to be like just stacked up. Then you look at the Bengals game. The Bengals game, again, it was another situation where the Dolphin defense did well for the most part, and then they just faltered. Same thing with the Jets game. 19-17, it was 19-12. They didn't score more than 19 points, and then all of a sudden floodgates happened in the fourth quarter after the missed field goal. So it's like, what is going on with this defense that all of a sudden in the fourth quarter, when the offense is struggling, they can't do anything? Why all of a sudden now is this defense not able to get these turnovers? And my answer to that is there are some key pieces missing on this defense. What are those key pieces? Byron Jones and Xavier Howard. Yes, Doug, but we're not getting any pressure. We're not getting any sacks. We're not getting any knocks. It's because our corners aren't as good as Xavier Howard, healthy, because again, he's been dealing with a groin issue, and Byron Jones. We're not pressing. We are not pressing these wide receivers. We are not playing aggressive. We aren't doing any of that stuff for the fear of getting beat over the top, for the fear of giving up one-play touchdowns like we did against the Ravens. So a lot of times, if you notice, we weren't really zero blitzing against the Jets much. We kind of really weren't doing it against the Bengals because of the lack of experience, I guess you can say, at the cornerback position. When you have X out there, when you have Byron out there, you can jam your outside wide receivers, and you can have Nick Needham play in the area where he's the best to play at, which is slot corner, allowing for these pass rush to get there, allowing for these guys to get to the quarterback and force the quarterback to kind of hold the ball for an extra second, instead of having your corners play a little further back because you're afraid of pressing, doing horrible on your press, and allowing the receiver to get by you for an easy touchdown. You're playing a little further off, allowing the slants to go, allowing the curl routes to go, allowing for the running backs to go on out routes, all that stuff, allowing for the quarterbacks to get the ball out quickly, also allowing for the run game. But again, the Dolphin defense is doing really well with the run game, ranked 13th in the NFL. That's my opinion, right? That's my personal opinion on what is going on with this defense. I honestly think that without X and without Byron out there, the corners are a little bit inexperienced and they're being taken advantage of, which is not helping the pass rush get to the quarterback. That's one thing. The other thing is I am going to put some of that on Josh Boyer. I am going to put that on some of that on the discipline, because we are ranked 5th in the NFL with most missed tackles with 25. That needs to end, because especially against Josh Allen, there was a few sacks that he got out of that would have, changed some of these stats, especially the sack total from 9 to probably like 14. I don't know. But they have to do a better job at tackling. They have to do a better job at pursuit. They have to do a better job at the right angles of making these tackles, because I noticed it, and especially with Breece Hall, he was breaking a lot of tackles. Some of these tight ends were breaking a lot of tackles. The Bengals tight end was just breaking tackles left to Hurts. It was just breaking tackles left to right. It was driving me nuts. Also, the other reason and the other thing that is killing this defense is the lack of discipline. Some of these penalties are just stupid. Whether it was Keon Crossan with the late hit on the unnecessary roughness, whether it was the abundance of face mask calls against the Jets, whether it's the holding in certain key situations. Like, this defense has a horrible time getting off the field. The offense, on the other hand, when Tua was in there, was fantastic on third downs, whereas the defense was hot garbage on third downs. They need to play more disciplined. And that's where the question comes in, where that's where Brian Flores' influence probably came in. He probably had a tighter ship and wanted the defense to be the way he wanted it to be and all that stuff. Whereas now he's not here. Josh Boyer's trying to do the same thing, but I don't know. Some of these play calls, they're playing zone. To me, if you want my God's honest opinion on what's going on with this defense and why they ranked so low, is because, and again, I'll say it again, it's because of the lack of Byron and X in that secondary. Josh Boyer's afraid of getting beat deep for a quick touchdown, so he's playing a lot of zone, he's playing a lot of off coverage, and that does hurt the pass rush, especially if these receivers can get open quickly. Then the pass rush has no time to get to the quarterback. You've got to get the quarterback to hold the ball for an extra second to allow for these guys to get there. But then again, Raekwon Davis gets there, this past Sunday, face mask. We had 2 sacks, I think, against Zach Wilson in some key pivotal situations. But in my honest opinion, that's what I think is the problem with this defense. I think it lacks discipline. I think it's messy on the penalties. I think the lack of having X and Byron out there is really hurting the pass rush, because I think, they're just right there. This is my opinion. They're right there. And I think if we have X and Byron back, and if we have that ability to jam at the line of scrimmage, we have that ability to play tighter coverage, make these quarterbacks hold that ball for an extra second, make these quarterbacks hesitate on their throws, all of a sudden the sacks will start piling up. X is the turnover machine. All of a sudden that starts to pile up. Sack fumbles start to happen, all that stuff. Because that's what happened, against the Buffalo Bills, against the New England Patriots. We had the sack fumbles that helped us score the touchdowns. And X was on the field for most of those. So to me, honestly, that's my biggest thing. That's what I'm going to be looking at and hoping for, because obviously it's already been announced by Mike McDaniel that Byron's not going to be coming back this week. He's not even ready for it, which it's just like killing me here. I think X will play. He's had He has about 2 weeks to get ready. I think he'll play. I'm pretty sure from what I'm hearing, he was very close to playing against the Jets, but he just, wasn't ready. Teron Armstead got on the field, and then, he came off because of his foot. So I'm hoping against the Minnesota Vikings, most of the team is healthy, Austin Jackson and all that stuff. I'll give you more updates on all that stuff as we get closer to the game. But as of right now, it doesn't seem like Tua is going to be the guy. If it is Skylar Thompson, and again, you can go back and watch my film breakdown, he needs to do a better job at not hesitating, trusting himself, because there was a lot of times he would do it like 3 times, or he'd pump it instead of just letting it fly. So we'll see how this all pans out. But again, to me, honestly, I think the problem with the defense is the lack of veteran leadership and the lack of those guys in the cornerback. These receivers are getting open quickly and not allowed to press, not allowed to play aggressive in the secondary, and not allowed to play aggressive in that front 7 because of fear of, instant touchdowns. So hope that kind of explains it for you. We'll see if they right the ship. We'll see if Josh Boyer can figure this sucker out. Long season, 3-2. There's a lot of teams in the NFL right now are 3-2. So got to beat the Vikings. That's what I'm on to. Let's go. Beat the Vikings. But on that, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we are doing the picks. I think either tomorrow or Thursday I'm going to do the picks, and I got the Big O show. But on that, like usual, stay classy. I fins up.